Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to break down the cast of the challenge All-Stars 5 Rivals and explain these rivalries. This season premieres January 29th on MTV instead of Paramount Plus, and on a vibes check, it seems like Season 5 will be very much an Era 3 vibe, going for that drama we've really been missing out on. And what a way to do that than with a Rivals twist and a cast that really fits the brief. I'll be going pair by pair, talking about each player individually and their dynamic together, how I feel they'll compete as a duo, and ultimately their chances in the game. I'm currently recapping Season 40 and will be recapping All-Stars 5, so if you like this content, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. But let's get into it, starting with our first duo in Adam and Steve. Adam returned for All-Stars 4 after a long hiatus, and I could really only judge him on that performance, where he started that season strong, being one of the first daily winners to get a star. He was pretty consistent in dailies throughout, going in one elimination against Brad, where Brad sucked, but I expect the eliminations this season to be similar to that one. He met Avery there, who now he's dating, and for so many reasons, it's such a miss to not have secured Avery and Tony on this cast, as they would have fit so nicely into this dynamic. Steve came into All-Stars 4 with an awful elimination win rate, but really helped his stats by winning 3 eliminations, and going on to place 3rd in the final, and nearly win the show. Most of his content is about him being a hand model, which gets old so fast, and there was that extended descriptive scene of him showering, which was weird. He got into so many eliminations because he can be a bit of a social outcast. I guess at this point I could talk about the two of them together. So Steve and Adam were besties way back on their original season of Road Rules, and if you watch All-Stars 4 episode 10, their relationship is highlighted as this 22-year friendship with a montage, and in that same episode, Adam turns on Steve and sends Steve into elimination, which Steve wins and steals Adam's star, leading to Adam flipping Steve off and roasting Steve in confessional, pretty much declaring an end to their entire friendship. As a duo, they seem competent but not well connected. There are a lot of friend groups this season. They don't really fit in any of them besides, I guess, the old school gang. We saw how that worked out on season 40 with Era 1. I don't know how much patience this cast is going to have for a male-male team going too far in the game, but they're both decent competitors who can hold their own and may be able to fight it out for a while. Next, we have Amber and Fessy, starting with Amber, who's competed in 4 challenges, winning her rookie season in Double Agents alongside CT. She's impressively won 5 of 7 eliminations she's competed in. She's one that I'm always really excited to see on a cast, as the likability is there, but she's often ganged up on for being a rookie even though she's a champ, so I'm really excited for her to return here, where she's got a bunch of friends on the cast. Her partner is Fessy, who's competed in 5 seasons and made 2 finals, holding 5 and 6 eliminations, and he made it to a final on USA 2. Fessy's a great competitor physically. He's one of the best to never win, but socially he's very flawed. He's a social butterfly with the women, and it gets him in hot water. He could be very full of himself. On their rivalry, my take is basically Fessy and the rest of the Big Brother people have always been jealous of Amber for winning her rookie season, so when they formed their Big Brother alliance, they never included her in any of it, and it hurt her feelings. It's exclusion, and it's mean, not cool, and it left her to be an outcast. Amber tried to trust Fessy, and he blindsided her over and over again, leading to her blowing her top and cursing like I'd never heard her do before or again after. They're such opposites, it's almost comical, but it could be that they have what the other needs to survive in the game, especially because Fessy doesn't have his Big Brother cronies around to rely on. Amber has some social connections, and Fessy has the muscle. Together they've won 10 of 13 eliminations, so they should start liking each other because I think they might have a chance to win. Next, we have Ashley M and Anissa. Starting with Ashley, who's played 9 challenges, made 3 finals, and won 2 of them. Ashley hasn't been on the show since she was DQ'd on Spies, Lies, and Allies for breaking the rules. It is nice to have her back. They probably brought her back here for the Lavender Ladies reunion, and I kind of expect her to be on her better behavior, but she only wins when she has blonde hair, and here she's brunette, so I'm not feeling good about it. She's partnered with Anissa, who's competed on 18 challenges, made 3 finals. I see a lot of hate for Anissa online, and if there's a format for Anissa to succeed, it's probably a co-ed team format where the eliminations are going to be more mental and strategic. Anissa's well connected here. She can hold her own in dailies. She's won the first daily on the main show a few of the last few seasons, which is not easy, but I'm not expecting amazing things from her physically. Their rivalry, I don't know, it feels like a way to get these two on the season. There's a People magazine interview where Ashley says something about Anissa, but I couldn't find anything substantial. Anissa has old school friends. Ashley has the Lavender Ladies. I worry that between them, there's at least 5 DQs and quits that I can recall, and they have to contend with Anissa's recurring ankle issues and Ashley's brown hair. It just makes them not a very strong team. Next, I have Ashley and Dario, starting with Ashley K, who's competed on 2 seasons, made 1 final in Battle of the Seasons and won. I always felt like she'd been cast to fill an empty spot on the San Diego team on Battle of the Seasons, as she was the quietest of the group and largely personally feel like she's cast here as much as possible to reunite that group, without Zach, of course, because he's out of his mind, but she's a solid competitor and a good partner. I don't expect her to get into too much drama, and potentially could just do nothing. And her partner Dario, who looks to be in great shape and is way younger than I thought at 32 now. He's been on 4 challenges and never made a final. He's done well in dailies, winning 7 daily challenges, but just cracks under pressure, leading to a pretty bad elimination record, losing 3 of 4 eliminations and being purged once. I don't think we were ever really able to see him live up to his potential though. He could very well prove to be in his prime here and be a very formidable competitor. As for their rivalry, it seems like they dated for a few months after Invasion, maybe a year. Maybe they had a bad breakup, but they probably just needed to find someone to be Ashley's partner. I think they could be a strong team. The rest of the players should probably fear a potential San Diego steamroll. Next, I have Beth and Janae. Beth has competed in 9 challenges and made 1 final. I love Beth. She's one of the biggest underdogs in the show's history. I can't speak for everyone. I'm always rooting for her. It is tiring being a Beth stan. She's an all-time villain of the show. Sometimes she takes things way too far. She's not very good at physical challenges, or puzzles really. I can't really say that Beth has a superpower, but she has a lot of weaknesses. She's paired with Janae, who's competed in 11 challenges, made 3 finals, all on All-Stars, and won 2 of them. All-Stars is definitely Janae's wheelhouse. She keeps up physically, and she's highly social and intelligent, which gets her to finals. The puzzle element of the All-Stars finals are really where she gets the quick win. This is a real beef. On All-Stars 3, Beth felt targeted by Janae and said that Janae was having an affair with MJ, which could have ruined Janae's life. Then, in an interview with Brandon 6 months ago, she accused Janae of basically cheating in the elimination that Beth ended up quitting. In the same interview, Beth is still saying that Janae had an affair, so these two still don't like each other. I think their likelihood of making it to a final is extremely low. I'd be impressed if they win anything. Next, we have Big T and Corey. Big T's competed in 5 challenges, but has yet to make a final. She's entertaining and funny, and recently had a great storyline of her coming out on season 39. While she's good TV sometimes, I don't have too much faith in her as a competitor, as she's middling in dailies and eliminations, and it could all come down to her partner, which leads to Corey, who's been on 2 seasons, most recently Battle for New Champion, where he made the final and almost won, but was defeated by a 4-foot balance beam. Corey is a perfectly fine challenger. He's fit, smart, social, but I think he lacks some self-awareness, which I think is emphasized in his drama, specifically with Big T and Melissa. They were all friends, and Corey threw them under the bus just to join up with the popular kids. Then at the reunion, he was repeatedly picking fights with them, then trying to give a fake apology, which led to him yelling at them again, which was just a bad look on his part, so we'll see if the 3 of them can get it together. I have Da'Vonne and Shane, with Da'Vonne competing in only her 3rd challenge, which feels like more, given her multiple reality appearances on Big Brother, recently The GOAT. It's nice to see her back. I think she's an underrated competitor. She's made a decent run on both her seasons, with a really great showing on her 2nd season, partnered with Bear, who was such a pain in her ass. If she could be a partner to him, she could handle anyone. She almost made the final that season, and has only gotten better at strategy and communication since then. She's met a lot of the players on this cast through her time hosting the Challenge podcast, and given her connections, I wouldn't want to be on her bad side. She's partnered with Shane, who's played in 7 challenges, also has never made a final. He is a charismatic social butterfly, with his greatest connection being his Lavender Ladies alliance with Sylvia and Ashley that connect like a web across this game. He hasn't had too much luck on the main show, but with this being his first go at All-Stars, he's smart and social and could be a good fit for All-Stars. As for their rivalry, they got into it on Final Reckoning with a huge blow up, back and forth shouting, name calling. She calls him Geppetto and refuses to be Pinocchio. As partners, neither can be Geppetto or Pinocchio. They have to work together and help each other to do what they have to do to achieve. I think they have enough skills between them to do it. We have Devin and Leroy. Firstly, Devin has played in 8 challenges, made 3 finals and won 1. Now he's found his way onto All-Stars, which is probably more catered to Devin's natural skill set. He's a smart, strategic player and thrives in mental challenges and eliminations. I expect that most things thrown at them will be in Devin's wheelhouse. Leroy has competed in 14 challenges, made 6 finals, has never won but has come really close. Lately, he's cracked under pressure anytime Cam isn't around. He was doing really well on All-Stars 4 until she wasn't there. Then he was eliminated because he couldn't spit into a tube, and he was eliminated at first opportunity on season 40. I'm just convinced that Leroy is very dependent on Cam, and I would like him to prove me wrong. As far as this pairing goes, I see no real reason why these two should be paired up, other than Devin targeting Leroy and making some comments at the beginning of season 40, and Leroy being Devin's nemesis Banana's good friend. I always want Leroy to get his first win, but I doubt the other teams are going to let this guy team get very deep into the game. Next, we have Frank and Sam. Frank has competed in 3 seasons and made 2 finals, winning 1. In his few seasons, Frank has great stats with 6 daily wins. He's 3-3 in eliminations. When I think back to him, I think of him as a great competitor, but also really dramatic and really angry all the time. When he was on the official challenge podcast recently, he seemed really chill and grown up, so I think we'd get a much different side of Frank this go round. Sam is one of those one and done winners who played once, won once, and never came back, winning alongside Frank and Ashley Kay. She still hangs out with other challengers and podcasts with Zach. While Sam is pretty quiet, she is unique and nobody that came after her really reminds me of her. As for their rivalry, I mostly remember Sam for being the person that Frank was screaming at over and over, especially in the final that they ended up winning. But Frank was screaming at Sam the entire final, which was so nasty and off-putting. So we'll see if they can communicate or if they go back to their old ways. Next are Katie and Veronica. Katie's played in 12 challenges, making 2 finals and winning 1. We last saw her in the premiere of season 40, feeling like she was embarrassing herself in the qualifier in the little boat, then getting eliminated by Anissa. Ultimately, I think Katie is one of the weaker competitors on the board in general, and she's partnered with Veronica, who's played in 14 challenges, making 5 finals and winning 3 of them. Veronica proved to be a cunning strategist on All Stars 4, pulling off some heist-like moves to get herself to the final, but looking at this group, her little friends aren't there. She and Katie are really out of their element in this group, and getting to their rivalry, they have this huge long-lasting beef spanning back 20 years to the Inferno, where they have this huge blow-up where Katie calls topless Veronica every name under the sun, but Katie ends up not hitting Veronica, and they both end up winning the season together. They'll probably get along just fine here, and I'd be pleasantly surprised if they perform well. Kellyanne and Sylvia, I'll start with Kellyanne, who's competed in 8 challenges and made 3 finals, 2 of which were on All Stars. Kellyanne is a fan favorite and a production favorite. She's normal and relatable, but also has her own flavor of cracked energy that's easy to enjoy. She's a good partner, she's not terrible at eliminations, and lately she's been very mature and drama averse. Sylvia has competed in 5 seasons with a great elimination record, winning 5 of 7 eliminations, but she's also been DQ'd and purged. She's often underestimated. She's got a bit of an army behind her with the Lavender Ladies, and in this rivalry, Sylvia just seems to hate Kellyanne and everything Kellyanne stands for. They were also taking shots at each other in the game during All Stars 3, which can be funny because she obviously can't get rid of Kellyanne and is forced to work with her and be her friend. Next, I have Melissa and Nicole, starting with Melissa, who has competed on 4 seasons and made 1 final, but it feels like more because she has such a big presence on screen. She fights, drinks, hooks up in no particular order. Add on to that she'll fight, kick, and scratch to stay in the game. Melissa's a great challenger. She has a ride or die in Big T in the game, which is good for her until they're on the outs together. And we get Nicole, who's been on 4 challenges and made 3 finals and was DQ'd once. She's never lost an elimination, so there's a lot on the line for Nicole coming into this season as far as her reputation. She and Melissa have a lot in common. Nicole also fights, drinks, and hooks up in no particular order. We last saw Nicole fighting, drinking, and hooking up with Laurel on All Stars 4, so she should have a few friends, at least peers, on this cast from that experience on All Stars 4. These two hooked up on vendettas, then after All Stars 4, Melissa and Laurel started hanging out, posting selfies together with captions like "Mrs. Steal Your Girl," so Nicole was probably pissed about Melissa being spiteful. They have old beef and fresh recent beef, but they're also both great competitors who are perfectly capable of functioning in toxic relationships. They'll probably do good. Finally, I have Nany and Turbo. Nany's played in 12 challenges, made 4 finals, notably making finals on her last 3 seasons. It seems like the show wants her to find her win, and I watched the entirety of Ride or Dies thinking I was watching her winners edit, which was a rough loss to watch. She's improved in dailies and eliminations as her career's gone on, and is being given better and better partners, which is helping her out a lot. She also usually has Casey or Casey's friends around to help her get through the game socially. And there's Turbo, who's been on 3 challenges and has 1 impressive solo win on his rookie season. All you need to know about Turbo is he isn't very good at the game, but is a physical threat. Nany was partnered with Turbo on his rookie season and had to do a lot of basically parenting of Turbo in the game. Once the game goes individual, Turbo goes on to win, and in his eyes, I think he sees him and Nany as equals or brother and sister. In her eyes, I think she sees him like a child who she taught to tie his shoes. On Ride or Dies, Nany sends Turbo into elimination in like week 2, which offends him royally because he thinks they're tight and there's so many other people she can pick. But Turbo isn't well liked, so she puts the house opinion over her loyalty, which to Turbo makes her look like a traitor. But they work really well together. If this were the main show, I'd say they were set up for a win, but on All Stars, it's about puzzles, strategy, alliances, focus under pressure. I'm not sure if this team can pull it together to handle all of that. So that's my breakdown of the challenge All Stars 5 Rivals cast. Let me know in the comments what you think of the pairings, who are you excited to see back, and who do you think can win this season? I'll be back in January to recap the season, so if you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you then. Bye!